So let's go over an updated controller settings. I hope you've been asking me about this post-patch as well. And I've actually changed quite a few things. Normally, I don't really change that much, maybe just one or two things. But there's a few things that I've changed this year, more than any what I've done in previous years. So shot assistance, okay, I think assisted, I would say if you're new to the game, but I would say once you get to that level, I would say precision. You know, last year I kind of said if you were like elite level, go and use precision. Now I would say probably go ahead anywhere from Division 3 and above. I would say once you're comfortable with it. I think you could even go a bit lower, like Division 6, if you're comfortable inside the box. When I mean comfortable, if you're not that kind of person that panics when you get inside the box, then I think definitely go ahead and use it. I would not recommend it for Division 6 and below. I think a lot of people, they try to implement it, and although a few times it does help them, they're not at that level yet where they're going to get that benefit, where they might score one time, but they're going to panic a lot more. So build a good foundation and then go to precision shooting. But otherwise, I would say it's the best way of scoring right now. In fact, some 1v1s you miss, you don't really miss some precision shooting. And remember, the ball goes where you aim it. A lot of people complain, oh, sometimes the goalkeeper saves it. Well, if you aim at the goalkeeper, it's going to be saved, obviously. But I use assisted just on this account when I'm recording tutorials, just so it makes it easier so the average person who watches my videos can understand what I'm doing and copy what I'm doing. But I still use my main account, precision shooting. Through pass, semi, I've not changed any of these. Ground pass, I did try semi for a bit. I didn't really like it. Cross distance now, crossing is very much meta this year. If you're watching this right now in November, you're probably not seeing it. But you will see it in a few days. In the league division for the past few weeks, it's been up there. I mean, just the meta of just heading the ball downwards, a second ball, or just heading the ball up to the up top, or just winning any form of head on the first ball, heading it down to a player and taking a shot. It's so effective. Or crosses. So I definitely think semi is the way to go this year, if you're asking me. And that's what I've changed. Normally I'll leave it on assisted because I don't really cross that much. Lob pass on assisted. Pass receiver lock. Now, normally every single year I recommend late. I think this is probably the way to go for one frame passing. The problem is this year, one frame passing works well with late, but maybe too well. And what I mean by that is, have you ever been in the game and sometimes, for example, you're dribbling, you try to make a pass to one player and the game pass to someone else? It's not that it's your fault by any means. It's not your fault. What it is actually the game's fault. Because what happens is, well, not the game's fault, is the settings fault. Because this is on late, sometimes people, they kind of change and hold their left analog stick way too late. And I think that is the key problem with pass receiver lock on late. So in other years, it would help you because you can make that last minute pass. But now I feel it's so sensitive, and you probably know what I'm talking about. Have you ever tried to pass to one player, but then just even a second before you change, and then it ends up going to the wrong player? So I'm still using late, trying to get used to it. However, what I would recommend is definitely don't go power. I think, look, power up is probably the earliest, too early. I think you can't really counter that, but I think animation start is a good way. So if your passes are really going astray, and let's say you're aiming one way, but the ball is going another way, I would definitely go to animation start. So big important thing. Don't go to semi on ground passes, just go to animation start. But I still like late because I can quickly change direction last minute, and I'm quite indecisive and try to be quite deceptive in the final third. But it's a big issue. So I was using animation start. I hope that will kind of solve many of the issues some of you guys would have. That's on normal. Clearance directional. Tactical defending. Tactical is fine. Everyone keeps saying, oh, is Bruiser OP now? I told you it won't be OP. It still isn't. I think Bruiser can be effective in some ways, but tactical is still the way to go. Is advanced defending better? Yes, but I like to think of advanced defending like driving a manual car. Okay, think of tactical like a dual clutch automatic gearbox. Okay, now for 99.99% of people, tactical defending will be better. Now, some people make the justification, oh, you can barge someone out, but tactical defending, you can do the same. I understand that certain animations you get a bit different, but the thing is, most people that use advanced defending, they use it correctly in small isolated incidents. But if you take into account 100 tackles that they do, they probably make mistakes for 20 of them that result in a goal. So although these small isolated incidents, it does work, and I'm not doubting that, I think overall, your opponent will get past you more times out of 100 times. So I'd recommend you tactical defending. Anyone in the elite division, I would say use advanced defending. Pro players still use tactical defending. So if you think it's so great and oh you have to use it, think about this. Pro players still use it. Professional fouls, I just turned this off because I use customized controls. It was interfering. I've turned this off. But you can leave this on. It's completely personal preference. Now switching. Now this is what I have the biggest issue with this year. Switching is just a bit all over the place. I don't really know. I can't sit here and tell you that I got right stick switching on lock. I don't. This is the look with ball relative. It's very accurate. You can use either one. I always recommend ball relative. If you've been using it for like over 2 years, stick with what you know already. But ball relative, in my opinion, is more consistent. If you struggle, I'll definitely recommend ball relative. But this is the issue that I have. They have changed some sort of logic and right stick switching. I'm struggling just as much as you are. There's certain situations where I know 1000% I'm switching to the right player, especially with ball relative. It's very hard to mess up. The game switches to the wrong player. I'm kind of going a bit higher towards 7, sometimes even 8. I think this is going to be now purely personal preference. Whoever tells you use 3 here, it doesn't mean that you're going to. It's like a seat in your car. Some of you like it to be a bit further back. Some of you like it up close and personal, up front if you're like 5'1" or whatever you are. So I'm using 6. I think I want a bit more of that manual. I don't know. I'll be honest. This is one thing. This is part of the problem. We'll come back to the problem in a second. Okay. Then it comes to this one. Now, I don't know what they've done. L1 switching used to be perfect for like the past 5 years. The logic behind L1 switching was always correct. I feel like this year they've done something. Like I asked them, they said they've done nothing, or I think that's what they said to me. Maybe they misunderstood what I said. I don't want to quote anyone, but I'm telling you, there's something changed in the logic of L1. Maybe they didn't mean to do it, but inadvertently, switching has changed. And how I know this is I've been switching the same way for the past 5, 6, 7 years. And every single time I make a switch, and like, let's say, for example, the ball is over here, and let's say I got a back 4, and I press the L1 button, I expect the game to switch, for example, to this play over here. But for some reason, it's cycling through the wrong players. You will know. I think you know. I think most people know. It's not like an isolated incident here. I think most of you guys know. The L1 button is almost a guaranteed switch, but it's not the L1 button. It's the logic at which player is selected. Now, I tried closest to the ball, but it's just not giving me the same feeling. I like classic how it was last year. I think this year I'm using closest to the ball. I think for pressing is actually much better, but defensively I prefer classic. The next best player has changed. I don't know, but if you're struggling, I'm using this, but I'll be honest, I'm indecisive between these two. I like classic better, but there's these key one-on-one, like you know how important it is if you select the wrong defender this year, you are in trouble. You cannot make a mistake. And there's too many times that this game has made a mistake for me on classic. So I'm considering going closer to the ball. I've tried tinkering with the reactions time calibration. This is trying to say I never normally change any settings. I might change, for example, like this or maybe this and precision shooter, just a few other things. But it's the first time in many years I'm changing so much stuff. I've not even got like a definitive, like this is the set in stone, to be honest. Reaction time calibration, I've been trying on. I don't think it causes delay. It used to be a big issue, a bug where it used to cause delay. I can't say for sure, so just turn it off. But I'm telling you what I'm doing in the background. I'm testing some things out because I'm thinking I need to fix this L1 switch, and I'm trying to find the right number. I haven't found it yet. It takes a lot of time. It's because you need to play like 20 games at least on each setting, and then find each one. Because I'm still in October, November time. It's still peak. I've got gameplay to focus on. So this has been on the back burner. So inadvertently, I've been changing it in the background, but not being too much on it. I mean, like this alone has cost me a few games in a weekend league. So I would say leave this on off. But if you're really struggling like I am and you want to find a solution, this setting I've been trying. I'll be honest. I can't even remember. I kind of went back into my notes. And I don't even think I found like a justified number. I think I copied 7 because I changed this to 7, and that's kind of the way that I went. But again, L1 switching is a big issue. You're not the only one suffering. Player lock is a must use. No, not must use, but I would recommend it. It's the most effective thing if AI attack is bad. Turn this off, and then all those values on off. Um, even though R1 dribbling is better. Now, when it goes over to the most important thing, so competitive, no, sorry, camera, I'm using co-op. I only zoom in on 20 height if I'm playing Rush. Otherwise, it's 20 height, 0 zoom. That's what I'm using. Visual. Now, I put this on contextual input overlay. When you analyze your gameplay, turn this on. Now, I personally turn shadows off. I think people are getting upset when I record my gameplay, so I've turned shadows back on. But like all these, leave them on. You can turn this off to reduce delay, but I leave this on. These are just, you just copy and paste all these settings if you want to. And a radar, I use white and red, but again, it's complete personal preference. Player shadows, I just turn them off. I know it looks a bit gimmicky, and do I care about how the game looks? I don't really care. For me, it's about gameplay. But I left this on just because the community wanted to see a more aesthetically pleasing gameplay. I turned this off, and camera shake, I turn this off as well, and that's fine. Now, one thing I do is high contrast mode. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I would recommend. I would tell you. There's probably studies been on done this, so I'm not going to quote anything, but I can tell you, statistically speaking, I just put mine between blue and red, and I feel like my eyesight, I can see red more clearly, and it's easier for me to identify players when I'm attacking inside the box. Very underrated feature. Definitely give high contrast mode a go. Like, you might think I'm joking, right? I thought I was just nonsense in my head, but then some people are saying the same thing. So definitely, if your eyes get distracted quite a lot, and sometimes you find it difficult to find a player inside the box in your peripheral vision, change this to a bright color. I'm using red and blue, or navy, I think it's called. Maroon and navy is the exact ones that I'm using. But definitely give it a go. This is what I'm using. I'm using navy and maroon. But I'll be honest, I think it's definitely the go-to. And if you want, you can even change the ball color. Maybe pink. I don't even know. Yellow. Goalkeeper's yellow. I don't know. I'll leave it on classic. Maybe orange, actually. Maybe light blue. We'll leave it on light blue. We'll just give it a go. Um, this is all fine, and that's basically it. I mean, the only thing I've done is I use now enhanced visuals. Do not do this, but I'm explaining. I just do this so it just looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing when I record gameplay. But definitely use favor resolution. I think that is basically all my settings that I've changed. There's quite a few that I've changed. The camera still stays the same, but it's the actual base controls that I feel like control. I mean, actual controller settings now I use alternate, um, but I don't know. It's a real tricky one this year when it comes to. I don't know. I want to be honest. I'm still trying to figure out a solution for this L1 switching. But I think the animation start for play switching will make a big difference. But I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know. It's hard. I said behind the scenes. I've been looking into this. I feel like they've changed some sort of logic. I'm trying to think of the correct way of saying it. But I thought they changed something. And don't forget, if you want to get better at SC26, you come to my Patreon series, patreon.com/Neil guys. We've got the meta mechanics. So let's say, like, you know what, Neil? I want to watch your documentary. I don't want to watch your 4, 5, 6 hours of content. Who's got time for that? I just want to get, you know what, meta mechanics, get the job done, get more wins, beat my son or beat my friend down at the pub. Then you can just look at the meta mechanics series, all the meta mechanics and the best way to score right now with video examples. We don't just show you how to do them. We show you video examples, how to do them, where to do them, how to set it up, how to get the ball in that situation. Those are being updated constantly. And of course, the defending series. Do you know what? I'll tell you this defending series every single year. People think, oh, it's actually quite a lot of videos here, but let's just say you see all these videos, think, oh, that's all. Some of these videos are 30 minutes long. But when you watch the videos and you implement, don't just watch it, you do it as I tell you, guaranteed improvement. Do you know how many people historically in my FC school have gone from like Division 5 to Elite Division? Let me tell you, just when your defense being good alone, you can have a mediocre attack, a top tier defense, and you will be in Elite Division. Having a mediocre defense and an elite attack is a much different situation. But defense is the most important thing. As Ferguson once said, defense really wins you championships. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Links down in the description for my Patreon. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace.